All right, here we are for round three. We won the die roll. We're gonna play first, and this is a reasonable hand. We can't play a Knuckleblade on turn two unless we draw an untapped red source, but we do have a red source, so we have the ability to play Elvish Mystic turn one, Temple Air turn two. So we're gonna keep this hand. This is definitely one of the costs of playing Temple in the deck. However, Temple does mean that you can actually, not die. When I was playing a bunch of Shivan Reefs, I found, in addition to mana confluences, I found I was taking far too much damage from my lands. It's possible that the mana confluences are where the problem lies, but we'll see. I do want to mess around a little bit more with this deck. As I said in all the articles that I've written about the deck, it was the result of a pretty limited amount of playtesting, and I certainly think it can be improved. So he plays an Elvish Mystic. We played against 3 Elvish Mystic decks so far out, and we actually can play turn 2 Knuckleblade. We drew a Wooded Foothills, so I'm just going to go ahead and fetch a mountain and do exactly that. So get mountain and Knuckleballer. Now that is not a weak turn 2 play, that's for sure. And now we actually get to play Temple. Next turn, our play can be Temple, Crater's Claw his Elvish Mystic, and play Heir of the Wilds. Though it's not clear that's what we're going to want to do, given that our opponent played a second mana creature. So we may want to save Crater's Claws to possibly kill a larger creature. But it depends on what we see here. I'm inclined to use it here to just kill the Elvish Mystic, but maybe not. Maybe I actually just want to play... given that our opponent will have access to Pelucranos mana next turn anyway, it's certainly much less exciting. So I'm going to actually just play Temple here. We're looking for more action, so okay. We would love a Pelucranos. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with my Knuckleblade. So if my opponent had not played another mana creature, let's say my opponent just sort of said go, I would definitely want to play Crater's Claw here. But now that my opponent can still play something like Pelucranos next turn, I'd rather have, even if I kill the mana creature, I would rather have access to the Crater's Claw that can actually kill the opposing Pelucranos, rather than spew it on a mana creature. So I also have access to play my own Pelucranos next turn that I'm going to be drawing, which is nice, depending on how my opponent's turn goes. If my opponent does play something like say Stormbreath Dragon. That's not even a relevant creature at this point because both Knuckleblade and Heir of the Wilds can attack past it very easily, and I'm going to be playing Pelucranos. All right, Xenagos, sure. Similarly, not very threatening. So I'm just going to go ahead and attack Xenagos with both Knuckleblade and Heir of the Wilds, I think. And then play Pelucranos. I can also just play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I can't. So we're just going to attack Xenagos, attack Xenagos. And here's one of the reasons I just don't think Xenagos is very good. It's just, this is a very aggressive format, and my opponent is, just, the Xenagos just does nothing here. It is saving my opponent quite a bit of life, potentially. I'm mostly killing it because the mana production ability is actually quite scary. My opponent would have to block with both creatures to save Xenagos here. It can't possibly be worth it. And I could have sent one at my opponent and one at Xenagos, but that would just let him use the Satyr to save it, and I don't think that's worthwhile. So we're just going to go ahead and play Pelucranos and Bivouac and say go. So we still have a Creator's Claw left over that is, X plus 2, because we have 2 creatures that actually trigger it. And I have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, so Polukranos can monster us for 2. So it's a pretty bad spot for my opponent. If he plays a Polukranos, I can Creator's Claw it away, or even just attack into it. And basically anything I draw at this point is actually pretty good for me. The only bad draws are like more elves, because an untapped land lets me Creator's Claw and Monstrous Polukranos in the same turn. Courser, okay. Hey, look, another Xenagos. Looks like my opponent does not have another land either, despite the Courser. All right, well there's the mountain. I'm just gonna play this mountain. So I could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can actually Monstrous Polukranos for 3 if I want, and just kill both of these. That might be my best play. It's Monstrous Polukranos for 3. Yeah. So he can like lightning strike, but I mean he's basically dead, and we still have the Creator's Claws left. So here we just attack with these, and nothing can even be. He can't even block and trade with anything because Air of the Wilds gets the Ferocity bonus, and your opponent is taking actually lethal right here unless he chumps. Courser can't really do anything. And your turn. Alright, get to play Mountain. Ooh, Genesis Hydra. Alright, so we've just played against green decks, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Especially since I'm on the draw, Sarkhan is pretty poor. I'm going to go ahead and take out the Lightning Strikes, and we are going to board in Hunt the Hunters and Disdainful Stroke, and board out 1 Boon Satyr. So same thing, same plan. Here we go. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and mulligan this hand. We only have 1 land. We don't even have great stuff to ramp into. It's super vulnerable to removal, even if we do draw a second land. So we're gonna mulligan. This hand is pretty bad, but I don't want to go to 5. I do have a temple that can allow me to at least somewhat sculpt my early draws, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. This is a pretty poor hand, and I don't expect to do very well against that opponent who kept 7, but I believe this hand is better than 5 cards. It's one of my worst cards in 5 land, but can very easily have a very bad 5-card hand. It's possible that I'm wrong there and this should go to 5, but it is certainly at least relatively close. We'll leave that on top. That's actually a good card to see there. The best card probably would have been Rattleclummus to allow us to draw. Nykthos, eh? All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and play an Air of the Wilds. I'm guessing we're seeing Hornet's Nest. Okay, that's actually the best possible card against my deck. That is the single card that I want to see the least. It is gross, incredibly good against me. I'm gonna go ahead and attack into it right now because I'd way rather just give him 2 Death Touch guys. There's I only have damage-based ways to remove it. I don't want him to like be able to hunt the hunter with it or anything. I'm just going to play another temple because I don't want to cast this. Maybe I want to board in Arc Lightning now that I know that my opponent has Hornet's Nest. Because being able to actually kill the Hornets is pretty valuable. So Hornet's Nest was amusingly the card that my teammates at the Pro Tour were sideboarding in Jeskai Ascendancy against my Temur deck, and it was by far better than anything that I was sideboarding because my sideboard was just a bunch of Stubborn Denials and Destructive Revelry, and they had Hornet's Nest, which was just unbelievably good against me. So we're looking to beat aggressive green decks. Hornet's Nest is the card for you. Alright, well, I think I just want to Crater's Claws this away. But I can't because I have a Boon Satyr in play. Well, this is really bad. Maybe I did need to play the Boon Satyr that turn. I'm pretty dead here. I'm just going to play Foothills. Just attack. Trade with the insect. I don't even know. Nothing's good. I have no good plays. Fistful of Land. My opponent has a Hornet's Nest and a Nykthos. Oh, an Arbor Colossus. I'm not winning this game. Oh god. Shiro's upset about something. Alright, we're pretty dead here. I don't even really have a way to get through this. One of the funny things, one of the cards I considered sideboarding briefly was Barrage of Boulders. And a significant percent of the reason that I didn't sideboard it, or part of the reason I didn't sideboard it, was the Barrage of Boulders against Hornet's Nest actually lets them block with a guy. But it's possible that you just want Barrage, attack into it, then Barrage afterwards and kill their guys. But alright, I don't really see a way to win this game. I'm just going to concede. Well, I guess I might as well see more of his deck. But I'm certainly not going to win this game. I have no way to get through this. He's going to play an Arbor Colossus and have 1,000,000 mana with Nylea. He's at 22. It's not good. Not looking good. Hey, look, a free Wooded Foothills too. The Hornet's Nest. The Hornet's Nest of Doom. To go with my terrible draw of Doom. Alright. I don't know that we're going to learn anything else. I'm going to concede. Alright, so I do think that knowing that my opponent has Hornet's Nest, I do want Arc Lightning in my deck. And I think I probably want it, on the play at least, over a Crater's Claws. Maybe over another Boon Satyr. Boon Satyr's kind of mediocre. Especially when well, I do have Disdainful Stroke and Temur Charm in my deck at this point. Yeah, I think it's still want to play over a Boon Satyr though. Maybe just over 2 of the Crater's Claws. Yeah, let's keep the Boon Satyr in. Just play 2 Arc Lightning over the 2 of the Crater's Claws. Crater's Claws is better on the play though, being able to kill mana creatures, but I can kill 2 mana creatures with Arc Lightning potentially in that window. No, we're gonna play Crater's Claws. We'll take out the Boon Satyr. Let's go like this. Alright, we will play first. I will keep my hand. This hand is quite good. We have Elvish Mystic. We have Elvish Mystic into Morph if we want. I accidentally have different pictures for my lands because I just loaded the deck instead of building it. So I actually can play. Do I want to play Temple of Epiphany, or do I want to play when Rattleclaw face up, or do I want to morph Rattleclaw? I think I want to play Temple of Epiphany and Rattleclaw face up because I want to play Polukranos and Crater's Claw your guy. Next turn. I guess both of them. Well, no, because I actually don't gain a mana unless I draw an untapped land. How does this work? I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess if I draw an untapped land, I have 1 more mana next turn. But I am playing Temple of Epiphany. Then I still have to play Temple of Epiphany tapped. So also, I guess if he has his own Hunt the Hunter, he can't use it on my guy if he's morphed. So I'm gonna morph him. I also get 1 extra turn of information for Temple of Epiphany. Oh, he has a Boon Satyr coming up. Interesting. Alright. So if I face up this, then... Alright. Face up. Okay. Play Polukranos. Play Crater's Claw. Play Temple. Top. So he just drew a Boon Satyr and he's a Crater's Claw on top of his deck. I feel like I'm in a really good spot here. I mean, going first is a huge edge in these kind of matchups, but going first and having the Crater's Claw to basically put your opponent multiple turns behind is huge, especially given that I have the Hunt the Hunter on top of my deck, which is going to make it, just virtually impossible for my opponent to actually come back. I get to cast Knuckleblade next turn. I mean, I assume my opponent has a land. If my opponent doesn't have a land here, okay, there's a land. And cast Boon Satyr, or whatever it is. We know that our opponent has Boon Satyr in hand, so... Okay, another Courser. That's fine. I don't really care about Courser. I'm just going to go ahead and attack with Polukranos and play Knuckleblade and keep Hunt the Hunter. So Bivouac, we're going to hold the Hunt the Hunter here because if my opponent does play like a Polukranos, I want to have an answer to it, which Hunt the Hunter is great at. So my opponent just drew Genesis Hydra, which is basically irrelevant right now. We know our opponent has Boon Satyr in hand. That's also not particularly relevant. Nykthos. Okay. Well, that is a that is relevant because now our opponent can possibly cast like Arbor Colossus, but we do have Hunt the Hunter to answer it. And this might be exactly that. Oh no, the Xenagos. Xenagos I don't care about. Oh, he's adding mana. Okay, what's he doing? Like an elf or something? Oh, never mind. Wait, how'd you cast that? Oh, never. Okay, yeah. One more mana. Sure, that's fine. That is a weird play because now I can just Monstrous Pelucranos and kill it. Like I can Monstrous Pelucranos, kill it, and then attack the Xenagos. And now I can actually, now I may want to Hunt the Hunter because otherwise he can double block. So now if I Hunt the Hunter, Knuckle Claw on one of these. And now I'm just going to go face because I'm attacking for 13. And I know my opponent is drawing another Xenagos. Yep, so Courser dies. We hit our opponent for 6. And he's going to be able to make a token. But these are just going to be chump blockers, basically. And he can play, you know, Genesis Hydra for 2. Okay. Oh, he got a Caryatid. Alright, and our opponent's last card is a Xenagos. So I'm just going to attack all of my creatures, well, all of my creatures except for my Mystic at my opponent. Because there's very little reason to kill Xenagos here. We're attacking with this because he can just chump block anyway. Like we're in a point where we don't want our opponent to just be able to chump block, so trading here is fine. And we're going to play this and a Bivouac and just say go. So yeah, our opponent's last card in hand is Xenagos. And we are... Ooh, Hornet's Nest. Ooh, okay. That is interesting. Now, okay, maybe we... I want to draw Temur Charm now. Oh, we drew Temur Charm, and we'll kill our opponent. I literally said... All I have to do is say I want to draw Temur Charm, and that happens. So Temur Charm, creatures with power 3 or less can't block. Not this fights this. I could also just draw Crater Claws. But that was particularly timely because, you know, my opponent was going to, you know, just sort of start having Xenagos in play with a Hornet's Nest, which would have been awkward. But instead, our opponent is very, very, very dead, and we win our 8-player tournament. So that didn't really show the deck in action against a huge variety of decks, but it did show, I think, a lot of different elements of the way that the deck plays. You know, sort of morphing into a sort of aggro control style deck with the Disdainful Strokes, and how important and how valuable something like Hunt the Hunter is. I think that if anything, those matches showed just how powerful that card is and why I was so high on having that 4 of them in my Cyber at the Pro Tour. It's possible that 4 of them is correct again. You know, given that I just ran into 3 straight heavy green decks, that the green-red Monsters deck, you know, winning the recent Grand Prix. Certainly puts it much more sort of on the radar for a lot of players, and the power of Hunt the Hunter in that matchup is huge. It's also possible that you know, people should be playing more Hornet's Nests, because it is certainly a card that is absolutely devastating against Temur, as well as a lot of other sort of aggressive green decks. It's less powerful against some versions, like the Dragon Phoenix decks. I think that if you have 8 flyers, Hornet's Nest is much less scary, unless you have some way to actually fight things with it yourself. But anyway, that is it for this week. So it's good to be back recording videos. I will be back with more in the not too distant future. I should be back to doing this pretty much every week. So we'll be back with more Temur action next time. I'm going to try switching some things up, try some different builds, and see how it goes. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.